I try to tell y'all about the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco has been traded to the Bengals because their quarterback situation is dire, and they want to at least make this season worth something. Especially since some guys are probably going to walk after the season's over. They want to try to utilize who they can while they can. Now, I told you in the offseason, Joe Flacco was not the answer. I told you it was a waste of time and that this whole thing's directionless. All right. And Myles Garrett is a rich man, but at the end of the day, two other defensive linemen got more bread than he did. So really, at the end of the day, I mean, he still got bread, so it's whatever. But the grand scheme of things, it just seems like everyone who's a part of the Cleveland Browns organization is just a very unserious player or person. Because no moves make sense in Cleveland. And don't forget, I know all this circus is happening. Don't forget, Deshaun Watson is still on this team with that guaranteed contract. Deshaun Watson is still on this depth chart. So, Cleveland, if you think it can't get worse, it sure can. And it will. Be it this year or next year, it will. This whole tank for Archie Manning, tank for this godlike quarterback class is dead. It's dead. The Archie Manning hype is dead. The best thing for the Browns is to pray to God your record's worse than the Giants and worse than the Ravens and worse than some other teams so that you can get yourself Carson Beck. Because that's the only prospect I can see being decent enough to tank for. Not saying they're tanking, because honestly, the Browns are so bad they don't have to tank on purpose. They're not capable of winning consecutive games. They're not capable of closing out games. The Cleveland Browns is a joke organization. And I'm saying this because obviously I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. You see my channel, you know. I'm saying this in the prospect of draft capital is so sacred in the NFL and any American sport. Draft capital is so sacred. It's how you rebuild your team, whether through drafting rookies and having them develop year after year, or you bundling those draft assets together to go get yourself some pieces or a star player. And the Browns just don't take it seriously. And the fact is, they had a franchise quarterback and they let Baker Mayfield go for a bag of chips. It's disgusting. Even when the Browns get it right and draft a quarterback and finally have, and all they need to do is get brand new receivers because the receiving core was god awful. They had a generational run with Nick Chubb. They had almost everything they needed. One of the hardest things to get right is your quarterback, and they had it, and they let him go. And now they are where they are. The Browns are very unserious, and it's time that we have a discussion about not letting these terrible teams, these horribly run organizations, dictate the rest of the league. Hey, we have some of these rules in place so that you can compete fairly with these other big market teams. But even when we gift you, or you're gifted, or even when you somehow, some way, when the stars align, you get it correct, you just fumble it all away within a year or two. It's so embarrassing. Baker Mayfield was dueling with Lamar Jackson twice a year and going band for band with him in some games. And y'all saw that and said, you know what? You don't need to be here. Leave, please. What are we doing? What are we doing, Cleveland? I'm not even a Cleveland Browns fan. I just hate incompetence. At this point, it should be the Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders show. It should be, we're going to keep riding with Dylan Gabriel until he fucks up, and then we're going to destroy his confidence by benching his ass and bringing Shedeur Sanders in here. When he plays bad, we're going to bench his ass for Bailey Zappi or some shit. Or hey, Deshaun Watson's going to come out like John Cena in the 2010 Royal Rumble and just he's going to play mysteriously great. That's the dream, best case scenario this front office is hoping for. because that's all they do. They get talent and they just pummel the talent into the ground. The decision making is all over the place. You have a head coach that can actually call a pretty good game, but it's just sabotaged by terrible, terrible front office. You have players that day in and day out still care and have a pretty good damn defense, and just no type of hope, no type of cohesion on offense. And I just don't understand at what point did the Cleveland Browns say, hey, we want to become a winning organization consistently. Key on consistently. We want to compete because we're in one of the hardest divisions with some of the best quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. And we're trotting out here with Joe Flacco. I have nothing else to say, man. I want to hear from Cleveland fans. What do you hope is the plan? Is it to go get Carson Beck? Because it's not Archie Manning. That project's dead right now. It's on the shelf. It's collecting dust. Right now, it seems like it's Carson Beck. Because I don't know what else to say. I don't know what direction your franchise is going in. I want to hear what the fans who actually pay their money to watch this team, whether it's from home or at the stadium, I want to hear from those people. What is the plan, do you think? And how do you feel about this team right now? Because maybe I'm over-exaggerating, maybe I'm stupid. That's fair. But I think it's time to see what these prospects have. In my opinion, in like 5 weeks when the Browns go like 0-5 in terms of the games right now they have. I know they have one win, but I'm saying when they, for the next 5 games, lose all of them, I want them to go like, all right, we're ping-ponging this. Dylan, we saw what you got. Shador, it's your turn to see what you got. And let's see. And whoever produces will be here next year. God, I just don't get this. I really don't.